Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Michael's Corner. Now, tonight, I will be interviewing a female wrestler, or should I say a former female wrestler, Brittany Diamond. She is one of the nicest ladies, that you can ever meet. This will probably be my first time meeting her. My good friends, the brothers Lockhart, Eric and Andrew, told me about Brittany Diamond and suggested that I interview her tonight. So, before I bring her on, I want to give some shout outs to my favorite people. First is my friends over at State of Pro Wrestling. He's on my live stream already. You can follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, I want to give a shout out to Wrestle Talk Podcast. Renee and all and other people too. They're my friends too. And you can follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And my final shout out goes out to Discussion of Pro Wrestling Facebook group. And I recently joined that group about 2 months ago. I'm starting now to put my content on that Facebook group page. So if you haven't already, please follow them. It's Discussion of Pro Wrestling Facebook group. Okay? I'm sure they'll have to send you an invite. You send an invite to them, I'm sure they'll invite you back. So, without further ado, let's not waste any time. Let's bring in our guests for this evening. Hello.
Hey,
How's it going, Brittany?
good. How are you?
Good. It's so nice meeting you. Eric and Andrew told me so much about you.
Aw,
Uh-huh. We'll get to how you met the brothers Lockhart in a minute. But I have about 8 questions to ask you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. My first question to you is, how did you get your start in wrestling?
Um, I've always watched wrestling. The thing is I hated wrestling growing up until one day I saw Ricky Morton on TV and I was hooked. I started going to PWF, Professional Wrestling Federation, which was run by the Italian Stallion, and I met a girl there by the name of Carla. And
Mm-hmm.
Carla was a wrestler there. And I wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to be a wrestler. I always wanted to be the ballet, but
Mm-hmm.
I was to work against Carla. And when I turned 16, the Italian Stallion told her, he says, "Well, let's just start training her to work against you." And
Mm-hmm.
I started kind of training, but I was like the ring girl. I never actually got to wrestle, but like I think one match maybe for Italian Stallion. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was at a Smoky Mountain Wrestling show in Johnson City, Tennessee, and this girl walked up to me and said, my dad runs a wrestling federation locally, and we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I started going to her wrestling events, and come to find out her dad was my cousin.
Oh, wow.
So wrestling honestly is a family business with me. I
Okay.
have a lot of cousins who are also wrestlers, so it's just a family event with me right now.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty interesting story. Wow. Um, so now my second question to you is, y- um, you used to be a wrestler, right?
I did.
Um, so who was your toughest opponent that you ever had to face in the ring?
Um, Most of my matches have always been with Rebecca Lynn. Every match I've
Mm-hmm.
pretty much done in Tennessee was with Rebecca Lynn. I've
Mm-hmm.
done a few things with Lady Outlaw here and there, and then I've done some in Florida with Raven Marie and Baronessa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was probably one of the hardest things, was because Baronessa's English was pretty broken because she's from Puerto
Okay.
Rico.
All
So
right.
working with Raven and Baronessa was probably one of the tougher things I ever done because of their her broken English. Excuse me. I mean, Raven spoke English fairly well, but when I first met her, of course, she didn't either, and it was a communication thing. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I I think I got more injuries
Mm-hmm.
from girls,
Okay.
but Rebecca is probably the one I've had the most battles with.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think the toughest match we ever done was a leather strap match because it was so much complications of trying not to trip over that thing and get tangled up.
Yeah.
Our hardest matches we ever had were by far our hardcore matches.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So wow, that is also interesting. All right. Now, my next question to you is, how did you meet the brothers Lockhart, Eric and Andrew?
Um, Eric and Andrew showed up at WXW, which was ran by Off of the Wild Samoan,
Mm-hmm.
and they were sitting there one day, and I walked over and I introduced myself to them, and I was like, welcome to Florida, and I was talking to them, and as they came around to the shows, I sat backstage and started talking to them, getting to know them, found out where they were from, who trained them, what they were doing, and I became really good friends with Eric and Andrew both. I love them to death.
Mm-hmm.
Totally great guys. I'd do anything in the world for those guys, and I think they know that too. I mean, uh,
Yeah, and speaking of Andrew, he's on here. He says, "Fancy, don't let me down."
inside joke.
Mm-hmm.
He
In
probably
fact,
knew that.
yeah. In fact, I was talking about this last night on on my episode of Michael's Corner. I interviewed by the name of Starla Love, and we was talking about Eric and Andrew a lot on that episode, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, I know these guys for a decade. You know, they have been really good to me, really good friends to me. Um, I always, I seen them wrestle in person for the first time and as a tag team. And when I seen them were in a tag team match, I believe it was a, I believe it was a tag match between this one wrestler who I won't mention because it'll make me upset, and the Honky Tonk Man. And oh my God, they were in Minnesota. Oh my God, they were the heels, and their opponents was babyface. Oh my God, Brittany, I rooted for the Lockharts. I mean, oh my God, something clicked in me. I was like, those guys got talent. I'm. My first reaction was, why the hell aren't them in WWE? Because they are that great. And
Oh, they are two of my favorite wrestlers ever. And I said once COVID blows over, I'm trying to run a show where I've moved to Tennessee, and I've always
yeah,
wanted to bring Eric and Andrew in. Always, and I was like, who can I get them to face? Who can I get them to face? Who can I get them to face? And I went to the
hmm
show a couple weeks ago, and then it dawned on me: the Tate twins. They're the Ohio Valley Tag Team Champions right now.
yeah. Oh my God, I would love to see them face them. Really. Oh
And
my God.
I'm friends with Brandon Tate, so I thought that through, and I said that would be a great match.
Oh my God. Yes. I mean, like, if you can, like, once this stuff with COVID is over, oh my God, you gotta book though. You gotta book the Lockharts versus the them because that would be a great match,
Oh yeah.
tag team match, hands down. And also, I seen, I think it was on YouTube. YouTube. I seen Eric and Andrew face this one tag team called the Outlaw Saints. Oh my God. My first reaction watching that match on YouTube, oh my God. They were heels.
Chicago.
Huh?
Is that the one from Chicago?
Yes, I believe so. I
Okay.
believe so. Oh my God. I did not know that Eric and Andrew was heels. And guess what? I rooted for them and I was sitting in my couch watching them beat the crap out of Dave Bell and Christopher St. Michael. They made me proud. They made me proud because you know something? I like to root for the brothers Lockhart and and whatnot. And speaking of them, they have a new T-shirt out,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot to mention this last night, but I'm gonna mention it tonight. That I am the official model, so model for them. I'm a model for them now. So each time they come up with a new shirt, I will buy the shirt, try try on, take photos, and then post it on social media.
I did that too.
You will make a great model for them too, Brittany. All you gotta do is buy their shirt, try it on, take a selfie, send it to their page, and that is it. The rest is history.
They they we got close over the years. My husband, of course, was friends with them too. He really respected them and thought that they were great workers. He wanted to see them go. He thought a lot of Eric and Andrew, and they thought a lot
Yeah.
of me too.
And you know, the one thing I like about those guys is they are respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Respectful. They they will show you the ropes inside and outside of the ring. I actually gave them some advice going into their matches. I would face I would message them on Facebook and tell them good luck in your match. And I remember what I told you. Just give it everything you got. And this is what I told this to Andrew and Eric. When you win, you actually lose. And when you lose, you actually win. And you know, you know what that came from, where that came from. I saw a movie as a child. White Man Can't Jump. Rosie Perez said these words. and they took it to heart. So I gave them these words of wisdom, and you know what? I will do it again if I have to, you know?
I hear you.
So, yeah. So now my next question is, actually I got my notebook in handy, so if you see me turning around a lot, is I have my notebook.
Okay.
So what advice can you give anyone who wants to become a pro wrestler or who is trying to get into the wrestling business?
Uh, Lord. Be prepared to make lots of acquaintances and very few friends.
Mm-hmm.
In this business, you will have acquaintances, people you've known forever. I have been blessed to have many friends in this business. I
Mm-hmm.
have people I call family. I have a family here in Tennessee. I have a family in Florida. People that I will never forget will be a part of my life till the day I die.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling, you better like traveling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be
Yeah.
practical jokes played on you, so you might as well get used to it. You can't have a sore temper. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to be prepared for the things I've seen people go through trying to get into this business. The endurance, the training. I see things now, that they weren't doing when I first got into wrestling. Like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a ballet. I was standing
Mm-hmm.
ringside with some guys, and we got a new booker at our federation, and he thought, "Oh, this will be great. Let's throw the valets in the ring to wrestle."
Mm-hmm.
Had a clue what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we got in the ring, we got in there and had a cat fight.
Yeah.
And I mean, we hardly had people just training us and showing us what to do because we were going in the ring and we didn't have a clue what we was doing. How we didn't get killed our first 3 matches, I will never
Mm-hmm.
know. But
Mm-hmm.
you definitely want to find a reputable training school and get trained the right way. Um, just watch your P's and Q's. And for,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I say to anybody, it's like, my kids are getting into business now.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, are you training your son? Are you training your son?" I work with my son some, but right now,
Mm-hmm.
I've got Wayne Atkins working with my son, my cousin Chandler, my cousin Austin, my cousin Michael. They're all, they're in the ring working with him because, like, there's
Mm-hmm.
things that I don't do as a
Uh-huh.
female, so I
Mm-hmm.
have to get out there working with him and showing him stuff.
Uh-huh. May I ask what advice did you give your kids when they first got started in wrestling? What advice did you give them?
I just, they grew up in this business is the thing. My kids have been around wrestling their whole life. So I told them, I said, pretty much what's going on. Watch your back. Watch out what you're doing. Learn what you're doing. Take criticism when you get it.
Yeah.
Take the praise when you get it. But know that when somebody's, you don't know how to criticize somebody without making them feel like a piece of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Criticism in a right way is a good thing.
Uh-huh.
Because, like I told my son one time, and it hurt his feelings. I said,
Mm-hmm.
"You're not looking for a match yet."
And you know what? And you know what, Brittany? I was lucky enough to get into the business, wrestling business. I worked for my good friend of mine, Kurt Alterholt. He ran a wrestling show called Minnesota Extreme Wrestling, and he was telling me, you got to take criticism, and that's what I'm having a hard time doing. Is like if somebody criticized me about, me interviewing the wrestlers and whatnot. Oh, he shouldn't be doing this or he shouldn't be doing that. And then I see some posts on Facebook. It's like, oh my God, this Michael Pam is a piece of trash and whatnot. And I always block them, but um my heart, but I'm having a really hard time um accepting criticism, constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I need to work on. Mhm,
it's when people are just being buttholes, it's different. There's a difference
mhm,
between constructive criticism and people just being mean and rude. There's a big difference.
mhm.
And I
And
mean,
then yeah. And then at the end of the day, if some people can be assholes,
oh yeah.
and that's what I learned. That's what Kirk told me. You're gonna run into some people that you may not like, or you may not like, so you gotta be prepared for that too. Because you know what? I be interviewing. I've been doing Michael's Corner for the better part of several years. And I interview some of the greatest indie pro wrestlers, I think, in all of Midwest. Some of them, I even brought them on to my show twice. Hell, I even brought somebody on Michael's Corner 3 times. And let me tell you, if it wasn't for Kurt giving me the guidance and the tools that I need to interview these wrestlers, I wouldn't even be doing this right now.
You also have to learn in this business to be professional. People a lot of times be like, well, I don't want to work on a show with so and so because so and so's on that show. And Sam, you have bad timing. I said,
Yeah.
some people like Sam quit. Turn the phone. But some people will be like, I don't want to work on a show with so and so because I don't like so and so. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool in one way, except for one problem. I said, I can work on a show with somebody that I don't like. I don't have to like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but I can respect them. There are people,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, personally, I do not care for them as a human being. As a wrestler, they
Mm-hmm.
have great talent. They're a good wrestler. They're great in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I will respect their talent and respect what they do. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as the rest of it, I'm just kind of like, no.
No.
But you have to be professional, work on that show, do your job, let them do their job. You don't have to be best friends and go out to dinner afterwards, but,
Mm-hmm.
it's a respect thing.
That's right. And that's what I'm working on at my real job. I'm not gonna talk about it, but that's where I'm working on, at my real job. I just gotta learn, at the end of the day, I may not like, working with this particular guy or person, but you know what? I stay professional, do my job, do wherever my managers tell me to, get paid, and get the hell out of there.
Right. You don't like going out to dinner afterwards. Don't matter.
Yeah, I don't have to exchange Christmas cards or Easter cards or birthday cards and all the above. But you know what? At the end of the day, you gotta stay professional.
Right.
Because if you don't stay professional, you know what? What kind of example are you setting to the fans or to the people around you? Your peers, your workers, your family and stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta be that example. I say, damn it, I may not like this person, but I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna stay professional, and I'm just going to do my job, do whatever the promoters tell you to, get paid, and get out.
Right. And I've done it.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. My next question to you is, what made you decide not to wrestle that much anymore?
Well, when I first moved to Florida, I wasn't wrestling. I was working the door off of the Wild Samoan doing his merchandise table, and then he wanted to bring me in as a manager in the women's division. And I
Okay.
I was cool with that because, like I said, I've always wanted to be the manager valet type. Always. That was always my
Mm-hmm.
dream. And then he wanted me to do this. I am older than most of the people that's in the business now.
Mm-hmm.
I was trained completely different than how most of these people were trained.
Mm-hmm.
Things are so different, and it's like I'm not the brain that's going to remember 2,000 spots in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
I messed up my knee in 2018.
Okay.
So I have a really bad left knee. I am trying to, but like I am trying to get back in and work some up here in Tennessee because like
Mm-hmm.
the people I'm working with, I know that I can call my stuff in the ring. I don't have to remember 100 spots in the dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different breed, a different age, a different thing, and I haven't really wrestled in years.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a bad knee, and it's like I don't even know if that my knee would let me attempt to even wrestle.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're better off being like as a manager, you know.
And that's what I'm
'Cause-
doing right now. I'm managing for my cousin at APW. I'm managing my cousins Michael and Austin Duggar.
Mhm. Yeah.
We had a
Hold
family.
on one second. I'm turning the page in my notebook. So yeah. 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 Well, but yeah. So you're just better off being a manager. You know, play it safe. You know, because you don't want to mess up your knee even further. You know.
Yeah,
Because being in the wrestling business too, you gotta make, you know, those sacrifices. Like when you're in the ring, you're putting your body, your health, you're putting everything on the line in that ring.
definitely.
hmm So also, let's talk about this subject. Let's let's talk about ring gear because ring gear is so important to the show, right?
Yeah.
So what is your favorite ring gear that you worn to a wrestling show?
Um, as a wrestler, I had like a black pair of leather pants I wore. They had like a
hmm
trim around top, and then it had like a bathing suit that went underneath it that zipped up the front. It was like black leather and purple, and that was one of
hmm
my favorite things I wrestled in.
Okay. And what about as a manager? What was your favorite gear to wear, like if you were managing, you know?
Usually like a pair of high heel boots and pants and a shirt. I would wear dresses sometimes, but even as a manager, sometimes you're involved in a match. So most time I prefer to wear pants and a shirt in case I'm going to be doing something or getting knocked around or something.
Because I do gotta admit, when I was my episode of promoting my episode of Michael's Corner, I used your photo, you know, and I posted it on social media. I chose this one photo that you had on with blue. I think you was wearing a blue shirt. I
It's a
really like
dress.
that.
It's a blue and silver dress. It's a dress. The whole back side of it's solid blue, but the front of it's sequins, and it's a
hmm
dress. That picture was taken in the dress room at WXW, as a matter of fact.
What?
Yeah, it was taken backstage at WXW. It's taken actually, it wasn't even in the dress room. It was in Gorilla right there before you go into the ring. That's where it was,
hmm
right there at
Oh my
WXW.
God, because I love that dress. I love the blue, you know. So, and I actually saw you posted a photo on there on social media. I was like, oh my God, I really like that dress, you
I've got
know.
a full body shot of me in that dress that Speedy Photography took in Florida when he done promo
hmm
photos for WXW. It's a full body shot he took of me.
Oh wow,
It's in that
that's
same
that.
dress.
Whoa, that's really awesome. All right, my next question to you is, who would you like to face in the ring if it were up to you. Let's just say that your knee is now like, just say if your knee is 100%, and you say, you know what, I want to get in the ring again. Who would you like to face in the ring if you were ever given the opportunity?
One of mine would have been Sue Young.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love Sue. She actually had asked me to do the Undead Bridesmaid thing with her. So if
Mm-hmm.
ever an opportunity where we're on a show together, there's a possibility you'll see me with my face painted all white and decked out as one of her Undead Bridesmaids. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would have really liked to have had, a final match, me and Rebecca Lynn one-on-one. She's injured, I'm injured, but I
Mm-hmm.
would like to have me and her been able to have a farewell match
Yeah. Yeah.
because we
And
kind
it
of
should be, yeah, it should be like filmed or televised if that were to happen, because internet now, these technology now these days, oh my God. You can see wrestling shows like on YouTube. Oh my goodness. You know.
you can pull up
Anyway,
wrestling there.
yeah, yeah.
TNA Impact airs like on a channel on Pluto and a channel on Sling. It's like this nothing but TNA wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was thinking about subscribing to the Impact Plus, but I'm waiting for them to put it on the PlayStation Network. If they put it on the PlayStation Network, or put the app on the PlayStation Network, I would definitely subscribe because I can watch it on TV and lay down in my bed and watch it as I go to sleep.
The Roku channel now has New Japan on it.
Really, I didn't
Yep.
know that.
I have a Roku, and the Roku channel now has New Japan on it because we were watching New Japan the other night on Roku.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't even know this. Wow, I guess I gotta update my television because in my room I got just a regular ass TV. I mean, when it all went digital,
Yeah.
probably like in the 2000, early 2010. And that's how long I have this TV. And it's still running.
Well, that's a good thing. Then you got a good TV that's still lasting.
Yeah, the brand name of my TV is Sanyo. Sanyo is my favorite brand. I mean, I buy their TVs over the years, and let me tell you, it's the best TV that I ever owned, and it's still running.
That's a good TV then.
Yeah, yeah. But I think like in probably like this summer or somewhere, I'll update it. Make it a little bigger. So when I do my I want to have my little smart TV because now they dropped the price,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to have a smart TV. Hell, maybe I can see the brothers Lockhart wrestle the Outlaw Saints. Watch that match on YouTube in my new big screen TV.
Yeah, you can put YouTube on your smart TV.
Yeah. So, and my final question to you is, I gotta save the best one for last. Now, we touched on this subject before. We touched the subject actually on Instagram. And I want to know, what are your thoughts on wrestling fans telling widow Amanda Huber that she needs to tell everyone the real cause of her husband John Huber's death, because she owed it to the fans as all this bullshit and blah 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 blah. And I want to know, what is your input on this, because we all know that John Huber passed away, was a shocking to the entire wrestling world. But then I goes on Twitter, everybody was just being so rude and nasty towards Amanda Huber, saying that she needs to just tell people what the real cause of her husband's death. What is your input on all of this?
First of all, Amanda and I share a mutual friend. And he asked me the other day, he said, can I give Amanda your phone number? And I said, sure. I said, I don't know her, but you're more than welcome to give her my phone number. Because many people don't know this. I went through the same thing. My husband passed away unexpectedly. I hadn't been gone from the house an hour. But I didn't tell fans what happened to him. My close friends and my family know his cause of death. But, I mean, of course, my husband was no big, humongous wrestling star on TV. He, of course, was a local wrestler like I was, but I didn't start announcing to people and telling fans what he died from.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's her personal life. That's her personal business. That was, for some reason, fans feel that they have the right to know every single detail of your life.
Yeah, and you know something? The funny thing is, I have actually made a post on I think, Instagram, Facebook, and a post about, you wrestling fans, you need to stop. Stop acting like stop being an asshole. Stop writing to the wrestlers too much, because you don't know, it's like wrestling fans wants to, add this wrestler as a friend on Facebook, their personal Facebook page. And I have said, you know what? You crossing the line, It's like, don't be writing to the wrestlers on their personal accounts every single solitary day. Because, when these wrestlers are not at the shows, they go back to their busy lives. These wrestlers got, family, relatives, friends, jobs to look out for. They don't have time to sit down and write to wrestling fans for 15, 20 minutes. They're busy. With their personal lives, because whatever they do on their personal time, wrestling fans should respect the wrestler's personal business,
I have two Facebook pages. I have my Brittany Diamond page, and then I have my personal page. And people will message me on my personal page and be like, look, I'm not going to add you as a friend on this page. If you want to be my friend, you can add me on my wrestling page, because I try to keep my private page for my family, my friends, people I go to church with, people I went to school with, people I was pen pals with and actually knew and wrote letters to for years and years and years or something. But like people that just randomly hit me up on Facebook and try to add me as a friend on my personal page, I usually don't accept the friend request, because I'm like, no. And it's like, a lot of times it's somebody just wanting to want you to hit you up on Hangouts and WhatsApp. You're not getting my phone number, first of all. WhatsApp I don't use.
Oh my God. Don't you hate that when fans are just like, I want your number. And I said, we should get together, blah, 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 blah. I said, what the hell is this shit? Really? You really, really, really want to go there? And first and foremost, I'm a wrestling fan. But you know what? I've been with me being involved in the wrestling community. You know, I, you know, I, you know, I may not be a wrestler, but everybody knows who I am at the wrestling shows because they see my excitement. They see how I love wrestling and how and heckling at the heel heel wrestlers and whatnot. The fans feel my energy. And when they feel my energy, I want them to go home to their wives or their family or relatives, and I want them to say, "Oh, I had the best time. Oh my God, this big fat black guy named Michael Pam saying he was so excited, he was jumping up and down." It's like he was enjoying himself. Yeah.
We went a couple of weeks ago to a show, and I was working on it, of course, and the only
Mm-hmm.
people in the crowd making any noise was the family members of the wrestlers. I mean, other people paid to get in, but they were just like, I was like, why did you spend money to come in here and stare at us? I mean, come on, guys. It's kind of hard to entertain if you're not going to get involved and help out.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
But as far as like another thing with my personal page, the reason I don't add a lot of people that I don't know is my kids are on my personal page.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of weirdos is out there looking at pictures of my children.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy tell me the other day that, my 13-year-old daughter was hot, and he's like 22 years old. And I was like,
What?
I'll kill you, dude.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Really?
I was like, she's 13.
Man, she's 13. That man should be prosecuted for that. Come on now. Give me a break. He
Yeah,
should have some sense of humor.
That's why I don't add people I don't know to my page, because I've noticed that they'll find my children and start adding my children as friends. And then my kids are going to be going, Mom, who's this? No.
Yeah, you was telling me that on Instagram. Some fans could take it too far, as like, adding your kids following your kids on Instagram or following them on their Facebook page. Some fans could take it too far. Stalking. Oh my God. Let's talk about what happened to Sonya Deville. She got this one man stalking her all the way to her home and called the police. It was on the internet. It was all over Twitter and whatnot. That's how crazy. Fans can just take it way, way, way too far.
Oh, yeah. I've seen fans be thrown out of buildings because they got way too involved, threatening people and throwing things. And I've seen people be thrown out of a building, asked to leave. It's sometimes they get out of hand. I mean, everybody's got to have a good time, but sometimes
everybody can have a good time. But when you start, stalking people or doing all this crazy shit, you're going to be thrown out. You're going to be thrown out.
For a long time, like when my kids were small and we worked as the heels, I would tell my kids, don't call me mom. Do not call me mom.
Mm-hmm.
But, as a baby face, who cares if they know they're my kids? But, as a heel, don't call me mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's gotta be a challenge. not calling you mom and whatnot. So, oh my God, Brittany Diamond, it was such an honor to interview you tonight. Oh my God. Eric and Andrew was right. You are a nice woman. Nice woman. Oh my God. I tell you, I love making new friends. making new friends in the wrestling community, and of course in the wrestling business too. I know they say, you gotta keep your circle of friends small, but once I would like to have the opportunity to, sit down with them and actually have, a conversation, or doing this interviews, because that tells me that you are a good person, and anytime you want to be on Michael's corner, Brittany, you know how to reach me, and we'll do this. I'll let me write down the questions I'm going to ask you, and let's do this again, because you know if let's just say if this COVID thing gone away, and if you start doing shows again, I would love to have you back on here, and you could tell the fans the upcoming shows and whatnot. So
Now, Eric, I'll tell you, Eric and Andrew, they let me into their little inner circle because, when they first came to Florida, they didn't really talk to a lot of people. And I don't know if
mhm,
they let me in or I weaseled my way in because I made a point to sit and talk to them all the time. But I wanted
mhm,
to feel welcome because they didn't know anybody when they first got there. So I wanted them to feel
mhm,
at home and welcomed them.
mhm.
I've met, I finally got to meet Eric's parents at his wedding. His and Andrew's parents. I got to meet them at his wedding, and it's like
Oh
it
my
was.
God. Oh my God. I bet that's gotta be a good feeling.
It was. I ended up being one of the first people at the wedding, and Andrew goes, "Why am I not surprised you're the first one here?" And I was like, "Thank you."
That's Eric for you. And
And Andrew told me I
speaking
thought I was going to be late because I got stuck
and
in
speak
traffic in I-4, and I thought I was going to be late.
hmm and speaking of that, I feel the exactly same way when I first met Eric at a wrestling show in February of 2011. When I first met him, and I interviewed them back in October. When I first met Eric Lockhart, he fractured his hand because him and Andrew were no him and yeah him and Andrew were involved in a car accident, and they were telling me about that. And they were heading. I think they were heading towards a show where they had. It was snowing. It was snowing that night, and they got into a serious accident, and Eric fractured his hand. And when I met him at a wrestling show, he had a big cast on his hand, and
Wow.
he was scheduled to face one of the wrestlers by the name of Paul Brewski that night. So I think he wound up winning that match. But him, despite of the fractured hand, but I was really worried about him and whatnot. And ever since that I met Eric, we just started to become friends. And he was on Facebook. I finally found him on Facebook in 20, this was in the middle of, I think it was around April or May that he created a Facebook page. Um, at first he got a Facebook fan page, but
Yeah.
he decided to create you know, a Facebook page where you can, send your friend requests. So I was the first ones, and he immediately accepted my friend requests. And since then, Brittany, we just clicked just like that. And the same thing goes for Andrew. We just click. And so, if you go and tell them, oh, Michael Pam interviewed me, I said, oh, they know they will tell you, "Oh, we know who Michael Pam is. That's our friend. That's our good friend and whatnot." So, okay, well, Brittany, to wrap this interview up, where can wrestling fans follow you on social media?
I have a Facebook page under Brittany Diamond. I have a Brittany Diamond fan page also. Brittany
Okay.
Diamond 9 on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really do Twitter that much.
Yeah.
While I'm on Twitter, but
Yeah, you don't want to go on Twitter because, oh my God, people be tweeting stuff about God knows what, you know.
I will.
So,
One thing I've been following on Twitter lately is the WrestleCon thing in Tampa to see if there's anything in Tampa that I wanted to see at WrestleCon. It's the only thing I.
okay. Well, Brittany, it is such a pleasure to interview you. Let's do this again. Maybe by then, everything will be open and wrestling shows will be back up and running.
We are doing one in my hometown on April the 3rd.
Okay.
And my son is wrestling, and my other son's refereeing. Two of my sons are wrestling. One of my sons is refereeing. My cousin is promoting it, and if everybody shows up that says they're showing up, I don't know how we're going to get everybody in the building because half the school's coming to watch my son. My job is to watch me. And when we used to run TCW, me and Rebecca Lynn and my husband, we ran the old TCW shows. Some of our fan base that came and watched our shows then plans on coming and watching this show. And it's like, okay, cool.
I bet they'll watch this episode of Michael's Corner, and because I'll be posting this on my IGTV and as well as Facebook and my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So, all right, well, Brittany, well, you take care and you have yourself a good evening.
You too, Michael.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. How do I get her off? You may have to push your X because Instagram changed everything.
I'm trying to figure out how to get it off of here too.
Yeah. There we go. Now, oh, that was a great interview that I did with Brittany Diamond. What an incredible story. Well, you guys, I'm about to hop off this thing. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Michael's Corner.